Yo, 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 we is back. Hit that like button. Y'all still believe in free speech? Shut up, god damn it. You always do that. Wait till I start talking and start barking. Cut it out. Cut it out. Voice box. The fuck? What it do? Yo, why are people letting why are people letting fuck is this? Hello? It's who? Oh man, you call I told you to call me on Tuesday, man. Yeah, I was wondering why you ain't call me. Yeah, call me. Nah, I'm on the way to work now. I work all day. Yeah, I work 12. Yeah. If you call in the morning, like around 8. Mm-hmm. No, you had to call on Tuesday for that around like 3. All right, all right. Fuck's can't follow directions, man. Just share. What's up, man? I was putting tags in the video. Yo, why are people letting Revolt Lied? Why are people letting Revolt Lie on Dame Dash, man? Hit that like button, y'all. They done fired Jimmy Kimmel. I told y'all, yo, this free speech conversation. I can't believe in 2025, yo, people still thought that was the thing, man. It's not a thing, y'all. It's a facade. I mean, it's an illusion, yo. Yo, Jimmy Kimmel got fired. And he ain't even do shit. Yo ain't even do nothing, man. What's up, Major Baby? He ain't do nothing, yo. How long has Jimmy Kimmel been on air? Hold on, let me see. Hold up. Let me do this real quick. What did he lie about? What was the lie? Cause this is what I sing. Let me show you what I sing. This is all I sing from Jimmy Kimmel. Now I didn't watch the whole monologue. Is the whole monologue on YouTube? Is Jimmy Kimmel whole monologue on YouTube, or did they wipe it? Did they not? Did they take it down? Somebody let me know, because this is what I sing. Maybe this is not a clear depiction of what actually happened. I don't know. I don't think I'm a big nobody's fan. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm a big nobody fan for real. I thought he was funny a little bit. I caught myself laughing at a few things that he said. You know what I mean? Yeah, but my thing is, yo, they never did. Yo, it hasn't been free speech for a long time, man. For a very, very, very long time. It's crazy that people just starting to recognize it. So they want Jimmy Kimmel to put out an apology. Hold on. They want this man to put out an apology. Yeah, I think Jimmy Kimmel. I think I caught. Like I said, I laughed at a few things that Jimmy Kimmel did or said. So this is what he did right here. I don't think this warranted him to be fired. Man, appreciate it, fly Eagles fly.
Finger pointing. There was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the...
Yo, the funny thing about it, I was looking for this exact. I was going to show this video a couple days ago. Like, yo, y'all don't think Trump was out of line for this? Like, yo, he put the flag on half staff. Made a huge announcement about the man assassination. 2 days later, they asked him, you know, how you feel about it? You know, he just had a eulogy or whatever he just had, a memorial. And his response is this. I thought this was out of line.
White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years, and it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay? And it didn't just happen once. And in between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at...
Where's the whole monologue at, man? Where's the whole monologue? The fuck? Be some wild sounds out this bitch.
Stay in a state of connection.
You know he was. He wasn't just a sacrificial lamb. He was an example. Yo, America sets examples. They always have. That's the thing about it. Like, people is shocked and in disbelief. Yo, but this is America. This is how it always been. Right. Hey, what the fuck? Shit keep throwing shit out the tree. What is that, man?
6 today, the future of the late night show Jimmy Kimmel Live is in jeopardy. Good evening once again.
I don't give a fuck, honestly, about none of this shit. What I care about is the fact that people are in disbelief. You know, yo, what the fuck? Yo, what is that? Yo, keep throwing shit out the tree, man. Hold on, yo.
Again, everyone, I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Michael Brownlee. ABC is preempting the show indefinitely because of comments he made following, I should say, the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
NBC4's Conan Nolan joins us live from the newsroom. Conan, that announcement is sending shockwaves through Hollywood tonight.
It is, Colleen, and it deserves a little bit of a backstory. Prior to the news conference on Tuesday that delineated the evidence against the assassin, the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk, there was a narrative over the weekend that perhaps this man, Tyler Robinson, was actually a supporter of President Donald Trump. In fact, there were those who believed he was part of the ultra-right wing who considered Charlie Kirk to be too liberal, that he was too accommodating to political moderates and leftists. That turned out not to be the case, but in...
Hey, she cold. Get your bitch ass out of here now. How about that? Yeah, hey. You talking about a setup. We talking about real shit. We don't give a fuck about setups over here. We know what we care about over here? Real information, real perspective. You know, perspective does not compromise. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these people y'all watch is compromised, man. They scared to speak. And you see why. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers is scared to speak, yo, because there's no such thing as free speech. Whenever you speaking, you gotta realize and recognize that, yo, it might be consequences for that shit, man. But it's crazy that a large part of America don't understand this when this is how it always been. I mean, we got political prisoners, political assassinations. Like, this is built into American society. Like, this is not nothing new. Like, free speech wasn't never real. It was always an illusion. Because if it's really free speech, you shouldn't have to worry about consequences. But in this country, and in all countries, you can't say what you want to say and not be held accountable. Even if it's true. You know what I mean? It ain't about truth, yo.
That wording on the internet and what happened
What the fuck happened?
on Tuesday with the announcement of the evidence, it appears that Jimmy Kimmel bought into what was being said online, and that led to the monologue that is in dispute on Monday night. The controversy stemmed from this joke during Monday night's monologue on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show taped on Hollywood Boulevard. It regarded not slain political activist Charlie Kirk, but Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old man accused in Kirk's murder.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. You can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction.
The day following the monologue, prosecutors in Utah County, Utah indicated that the killer was not a supporter of President Donald Trump, but rather of the political left, and viewed Charlie Kirk as an enemy of the trans and gay movements.
Yo, but them text messages, did y'all read them text messages? Them text messages fugazi. Let's go to them text messages, man. Like, who does this? Candace Owens did a video on this shit yesterday. I'm gonna go to the part when she went through these messages. Them text messages fugazi. I wouldn't be buying it either. So you mean to tell me he committed this assassination and just text about it? Like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm telling you,
the opposite of any work platform we tried in the past. We tried other work management platforms, not naming names.
Listen to the language used. Let's see if we can find it. Here you go. No, that's not it. Let's find these messages. Here you go. Hit that like button, y'all.
Writes, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty die-hard MAGA.
Here you go.
Because we're in Utah, and so cops are probably not leaking to a New York-based publication. But whatever, they have the exclusive. Exactly. They're the ones that reveal the photo. They always have the exclusive, okay? And they show us the gun in the shooting. Their article publishes at, and by the way, my timeline is all based in Mountain Time. So that says 11:21 a.m. Eastern. They publish at 9:21 a.m., 2 hours after that first press conference, and say exclusive. They are the ones that drop the trans narrative. They say these things are found.
It's not even just that. Like I said, yo, it's more. I think it was more of an example. You know, America sets examples, man. They always have. Like, he's not the first example. He might be the 100th example. People just ignored it, you know, because maybe this is more recent. You know, but they always set examples. Yo, what you think the assassination of Martin Luther King or Malcolm X was? It was an example. The assassination and the prosecution of the Black Panthers, that was an example. If you notice, we haven't seen nothing of that nature since. We haven't seen nothing of that nature. You can't say what you want over here, man. Not without consequence.
On the bullets, okay. And then just 7 minutes later, the FBI, Salt Lake City, drops static images of the alleged shooter walking up the stairs, okay? So now we can see on our timeline, that's around 10 a.m. in the morning, Salt Lake City time, Mountain Time. So we can then assume that everything else that's about to happen that I'm going to tell you had to have happened, okay, between approximately 10:30 and 7 o'clock p.m., okay? I have a source, and everything the source has told me that has happened, and when we were lied to publicly, has proven to be correct. So I am very inclined to believe this source on a couple of other things. And when I speak also to Lance's family, they are confirming what this source is telling me. So we're going to go through this 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., all of the things that then took place. So they released the photo. And then we are told, as my source initially told me, that it was the mother who recognized Tyler. And she phones him up. Tyler says, Mom.
Subscribe to the channel if you knew.
I'm sick. She doesn't believe it. She loops in Dad, okay? Dad then texts and he calls Tyler. And at this point, we can jump back into day 2 of our messages because Robinson says to Lance, delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says, Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds release.
Yo, come on now. Yo, come on now. If the rifle was missing, and this is a photo of you believe of your son, it's common sense what a motherfucking rifle is. You don't need text messages to confirm. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? As a parent, yo, if I see my son wanted on the news for a murder, and I find and I find a gun missing, then more than likely, yo, my son got it. I don't need no text. I don't need no confirmation. I need my shit back. Or what the fuck you did with it. Like, yo, that doesn't make sense. Yo, people gotta use their own brain, yo. I told y'all yesterday, 80% of this country don't have their own mind. They don't. Their minds completely controlled and manipulated by mainstream media.
Released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me right now. I'm not answering.
Yo, what the fuck is in this tree,
so
man?
Apparently he did answer. According to the indictment, the dad says he didn't answer his text messages, but then the father called him and Tyler Robinson answered, and he tells us that Tyler was suicidal, and that is when they just told him, like, calm down, let's speak to you. They bring over their neighbor sheriff friend, and they agree that he should go in. Now, if he was in fact suicidal, you don't get that vibe from these messages to his lover, right? There's nothing in here that he's like, I can't believe what I've done. Now he slept. We don't know where. He seems to be perhaps on very little sleep. I would imagine he was. He just murdered someone. And he's not indicating in these messages that he's going through any sort of suicidal feelings. Instead, he sends this very odd thing about his dad, who he says he's not answering. He writes, since Trump got into office.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't need no text to confirm that, Silent. If you seen a picture, you know your gun is missing, and you got a picture of your son on the news, do you need a text? Like, what more confirmation do you need?
My dad has been pretty die-hard MAGA. There's something here for everyone if you want to take the low-hanging fruit and think of this as left versus right, right? So if you're like, on the right, you're like, I need to blame the left, then it's like, whoa, the trans thing is here. But if you're on the left, you need to blame the right. Well, Dad was a die-hard MAGA. It's like, it's so fed. It's just so.
What I tell y'all, right versus left, play the middle. I mean, that's what they do, y'all. They convince people that it's right versus left. Meanwhile, they play the middle. The middle is where the money is, y'all.
So federally written. It's amazing. So chaos right here. anyways, I guess maybe if you're suicidal, that's what you sent. Dad's been pretty diehard MAGA. And then we don't know, again, when these messages took place, but it all had to happen in these 7 or 8 hours. He says, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors is here. He is deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love. He seems impassioned here. He doesn't seem suicidal. And then Lance comes back and says, I'm much more worried about you. And Robinson says, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments because the feds want to let you know why it is that we're not talking about Lance, right? They got to tell you, because Tyler told him, duh. If you're going, wow, if Lance is really not guilty and he hasn't done anything, this would be a good time to speak, right? No, Lance is not doing that because Tyler right here says, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comment. And if any police...
Let me know if we don't get clear, y'all. Everybody, if it start getting blurry, let me know. You know how YouTube be playing.
Ask you questions, ask for a lawyer, and stay silent. So that's how it happens. And I want to tell you that we can jump back into the timeline here.
Begin a career that is full of possibilities and...
Yeah, these messages doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, y'all. This is the only thing they got to really tie him to this crime is these messages. It's like an admission of guilt.
Source informs us that it was around 7:00 p.m. when everybody locally began receiving the text messages that Tyler Robinson was in custody and that they were going to pick him up in Warner Valley. Now, Warner Valley is right next to St. George. So he lives very close to his parents is what I want you to recognize. You've got St. George, you've got Warner Valley. So they said that that's where they went to go pick him up. That could very much be his parents' place. But what's really interesting about that, okay, if you consider that they are telling us at 7 p.m., that this is when all the messages started circulating, then we don't know why the feds say that it was the 33rd hour after the shooting, like a total Freemason number. 33rd hour after the shooting. It took us 33 hours. That would be inaccurate, okay? 33 hours would be at 9:23 p.m. Our person is telling us, and I tend to believe them, that everyone knew at 7:00 p.m., okay? And what they tell us took place thereafter, and this is what I confirmed with Lance's family, because I said, wait a second, you owned the house. When did they pick up Lance? When did Lance go in? When did the home that you own get raided by the feds? Did the home that you own get raided by the feds? And what that family is telling me, and what my source is telling me, it's matching, okay? So I'm feeling good about this. We'll say allegedly, but I'm feeling good about this, okay? So Tyler is allegedly in custody, and they are told, don't say, don't speak, don't do anything. The feds, you have to wait for the feds to get there to question Tyler. And that didn't happen until the wee hours of the morning. How do we know? Because we're going to hear that from Governor Cox the following morning. Anyways, but apparently what happens is then they bring Lance in at 11 p.m.-ish. We'll tell you around 11 p.m., Lance Twiggs is brought in for questioning, okay? And shortly thereafter, that apartment is raided. And I say overnight into the wee hours of the morning is when they first raid Tyler and Lance's apartment. Now, why am I really stressing this out to you? I'm stressing this point to you here. Because this would signal to you that it would be absolute BS if the feds are going to tell us bright and early the next morning that the case is closed. They would know nothing. According to Lance's family, this is when they seized his electronics. They say that he's deep on the internet web, that there's definitely going to be something there. And yet they told us that, quite oddly, Lance gets released right back to his parents. Right, not right back. Lance just gets released to his parents while they're raiding his apartment.
That's strange as a motherfucker.
Why would they release Lance?
That never happens, yo. I don't know how many people been in custody. Yo, but if they gonna at least hold you, like she said, that she gonna get to. They gonna at least hold you 24 hours. At the least. At the very least, you gonna sit 24 hours. Shit, they might make you sit for 90 days. You know what I mean? People have sat for 90 days while they was well, at least 30, not 90, but at least 30 days while they was doing a preliminary investigation. They released this man immediately. That's suspect, y'all. For a situation like this, where man was assassinated and he was the closest person to the suspect, you ain't getting released to no motherfucking right away like that. It's not happening.
Don't you think that you would be detained like for at least 24 hours, right? If we're putting this at around 11 p.m.-ish, that they have brought him in and they are questioning him and they are now moving to raid his apartment in the wee hours of the morning, why would they very quickly release him? And beyond that, I'm going to let you know, let's jump into Friday on the timeline. Like I said, early hours, Tyler and Lance have their apartment raided and the devices seized. For whatever reason, the FBI quickly releases Lance, and I'm told that he's dropped off at his parents' home, allegedly. And then it's at 6 a.m. that President Trump announces with a high degree of certainty that they have the suspect, okay? So are they still raiding his place? I don't know, but take a listen to Trump on Fox and Friends.
Any updates on the suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody. Okay? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job.
Okay. And here is what the governor is then 2 hours later is when his press conference began. I'm going to do the short clip. Okay, let's play actually a little bit of the longer clip, Skylar. I'll tell you when to come out of it. It's a 6-minute long clip, and you should go back and watch it in its entirety. He's going to make it seem like, Lance doesn't even exist. But let's start it off and listen to a minute of this, and then I'll give the synopsis.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images.
Okay.
To start a podcast with Riverside, all you need is a concept and a way to record it. Here's how it works. First, go to...
Okay, stop. That's actually a perfect place to stop right there. My source says he's lying. I don't like Governor Cox. Vibes. Okay, vibes. I don't know, can't explain it. I'm getting tons of people that are messaging me telling me he's corrupt, that he forced himself onto the ballot, that he wasn't even supposed to be the governor. Allegedly. I just don't like him. Every time we find an inconsistency, I actually find him to be the mouthpiece of it, okay? So he is representing, and my source says falsely, that they picked up Tyler Robinson. And by the way, it makes perfect sense that my source is saying that that's not accurate. In the same outfit that we just showed you, okay, of the maroon thing that happens at 8 o'clock. We don't know what he was doing for 4 hours on campus, but he's telling us that for 33 hours, he decided that he was going to keep the outfit on. Now, remember, I told you that Tyler Robinson's classmate reached out, and they insisted that this was an incredibly odd thing because he was very tidy. He was very clean, and they said that's the first thing that they went, that just sounds weird. He was a very tidy dude. Now I'm telling you that my source is saying he wasn't wearing that outfit when he got picked up. He wasn't wearing that outfit when he was brought to the office. If I have this wrong, this would be a very easy thing. Okay, surely they're gonna have photos. They've got something for them to release. It's like, we totally got him. I want to be clear. If you are in the police station and you want to reach out and let me know more, tips@candaceowens.com. and Lance live together. We have a map here to show you that. Writing that it's your grandpa's. Definitely trying to cover your tracks.
This is what I'm to show these
I worry
messages.
about Prince. I had to leave it in a book.
Listen to these messages,
we picked
man.
him up because he was wearing something similar, because we know, and we can pull up this timeline, that They at first thought it was George Zinn, so that's who he's referencing, some crazy old dude. As I'm sorry.
Listen to these messages, yo. Do these messages sound real to y'all? They're not even timestamped. None of these messages are timestamped. Your message has timestamps on there nowadays, yo. Look at this shit. Why they not timestamped? Why you just didn't release the text message thread? I mean, if you wanted people to believe you and you wanted to make it, you know, real, why not just release the timestamps? The real messages from the phone. Not this shit. This shit like this is typed on a piece of paper. We can focus on everything.
I thought they caught the person. Okay. And Robinson responds, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Okay, so that lets us actually be able to drop that into the timeline pretty simply. Why? Because we know, we can pull up this timeline, that they at first thought it was George Zinn, so that's who he's referencing, some crazy old dude. And on the timeline, Skylar, if you want to pull that up so we can go through it, what time Charlie gets shot at 12:23 p.m. Scroll down a bit. George Zinn, we learn about 30 minutes after that, George Zinn, the decoy boy, that's when it's announced that he's a suspect in custody by the Utah police.
We
but
actually
it's
talked
not
about UFOs
until,
a couple days
by
ago.
the way, 5:30.
We talked about UFOs a couple days ago. They had a whole hearing on it in the Senate where a couple whistleblowers spoke out.
30 p.m. because he mentions that second suspect. And he curiously says in that correspondence that he's wearing similar clothing, which I find to be strange. We don't know what that second suspect is wearing until 5:30 p.m. When Governor Cox, 12 minutes into a press conference, the press conference began at 5:30 p.m., mentions that the
like, yo, how did he got all this information? You mean to tell me he committed this assassination and then got straight on the internet and just was like he just was somewhere posted up watching the videos and shit. Like, yo, get the fuck out of here, man. He wasn't scared, he wasn't nervous, he wasn't none of that. He was literally somewhere. Hey, I said stop. He was literally somewhere watching the news coverage. You feel me? Minutes after the assassination, he watching the news coverage on it. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Enough to know that they arrested the old white man. Then, what, a couple hours later, they said they got another suspect. He just sitting back watching all this shit. Where was he at?
Second suspect, who is a person of interest, is wearing all dark clothing. So the earliest that message could have been sent out is after 5:30 p.m. I think it's unlikely because I think, again, this is all made up, these messages, because he says wearing similar clothing. Okay, he tells us dark clothing. What's similar about that? This guy allegedly, when he did this, was wearing black jeans and was wearing, dark jeans.
Yeah, that's police talk. Yeah, that's police talk. Right there. How many times they say you fit the description of a suspect with a black shirt, blue jeans? That's police talk, man. You know what I mean? That's how they look at all of that as similar. It don't matter if your shirt was black with stripes on that motherfucker. They'll pull you over, drag you out your car, search you, talking about you fit the description of the suspect. You get the full description of the suspect, and he ain't got none of the same shit you got on.
And a black shirt. So that's like everyone on campus, okay? Nobody in the press conference says, we picked him up because he was wearing something similar to the shooter. So that language right there is actually a mistake from the feds. But again, it allows us to be able to plot it into the timeline. So that's good. Okay. Timeline is back up here. And we then know.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking.
Tweets that the subject.
Nico, be quiet, bro.
subject in custody has been released. Our investigation continues. That was a mistake. The guy in the darker clothing, we don't know who that is. And then it's after, again, like I said, that these correspondences then had to take place. So we're talking about late in the evening, okay, 6 hours on. I'm wondering what it is that Tyler Robinson is doing throughout this entire time. Skylar, you can keep this up because I want to keep scrolling, okay? What he's doing throughout this entire time, because that's a very long time for him to be just around campus. But then luckily, he's going to let us know what he's doing, right? He's going to jump right in here and he's telling us that he's close to the scene. We know in this conversation that he then says to Lance that he's looking to get that rifle, right? He says, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring it back. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's actually go earlier. He then tells us his alibi, which is amazing, right? He's saying, I'm lingering around there. I'm trying to get the vehicle. And then, of course, as you always do when you're trying to clean up things, you then spell out your alibi, right? Lance asks him, why did you do this? And Robinson says, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate cannot be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, like I'm trying to clean up the scene, but also I'm telling you exactly what my motive is here, I will have left no evidence. I'm going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Okay, so we are now late in the evening. He's still hanging around. The roommate then comes and says, how long have you been planning this? He says, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, still trying to get close to that rifle. So I'm wondering if maybe the feds might drop us some footage, right? We should be able to see some footage. He's got to be idling in his car.
Now, I want to see the footage. I want to see the footage of him getting up on the roof. Why they haven't released that? If they got a footage of him on the roof, they should have a footage of him getting up that motherfucker too. Like, why ain't nobody question that? Like, you would think that would be common sense. They got all this footage. They got footage of him walking, footage of him running, footage of him on the roof, jumping off the roof. But we ain't got no footage of him getting on the roof. That's a little speculatory, a little strange, man, if you ask me.
You've been speaking about how he has this car. I'm assuming he's not just sitting in the woods or sitting on a sidewalk. This is a quote unquote manhunt.
Yeah.
So where is he casually sitting, lingering, loitering? I don't know, but that would be some pretty good footage that they could release if they don't want us all to become a conspiracy theorist, okay? He then says, yeah, I've been planning this for a bit over a week. I can get really close to it, but there's a squad car that's parked right by it. That's the drop-off spot. I think they already swept the spot, but I don't want to chance it. And then he tells Lance that I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. Yeah, that's a vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I went to exactly where I got this rifle from, okay? I don't know. I don't even know if it had a serial number. Weird, because he's been playing this for a week. He might have checked. Now all of a sudden he's getting into details and is wondering if it had a serial number. That seems a little strange to me. But it wouldn't trace to me, of course, because you just told us in writing that it's your grandpa's. Definitely trying to cover your tracks. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits.
Yo, this is crazy, yo. Ain't no way, yo, he just sat around and texted all this shit, man. Yo, do y'all like, yo, this, I can't believe people took this and was like, oh yeah, damn, he I believe it. Yo, he sat around and texted all of this. All of this. Look at these long ass text messages. Like, man, fuck out of here, man. That's bogus. I ain't buying that shit at all. I ain't buying it.
Okay, we're going to get to that. Focus on the changing outfits. That's a really important piece of this, and that is why I am now a confirmed conspiracy theorist on this, okay? I left it in the bush where I changed outfits, okay? I didn't have the ability or the time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope that they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. That's the only thing. Otherwise, it was a perfect job. It was top of the line, professional job. The only thing I left behind was the weapon with my prints on it. Oh my gosh, right? Like that's kind of amazing. Okay. Then he, of course, explains, remember how I was engraving the bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. I know I speak proper here, but it's just a meme that I was writing. I wrote, notice his bulge. on Fox News, I might have a stroke if they say that, right? If I see notices bold on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. Oh, that really effing sucks. It's almost perfect. Okay, so he then ends this message. This is all from the day. This is all we have from September 10th, okay? Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun. I want to make it very clear. This is Grandpa's gun, okay? Nobody should question this narrative because he has put it all here. I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think that was a $2,000 scope. Okay, so that ends that exchange. Now, I have a couple of notes here that I put here.
Man, I don't believe none of that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. For real, Gravity. Like, I don't believe none of that. I just can't see a situation where you commit a crime like that and just lay all the details out in text messages. Not even just for the sender of the text message, but for the receiver of the text message to respond in that way. I mean, like, that doesn't make sense. You know, everybody knows text messages can be, what the fuck is that? Everybody know that you can retrieve text messages. You know what I mean? Easiest thing to do. Go straight to the cell phone company, get all the messages. No matter if you delete them or not. You commit a crime like that, yo, and you trying to get away, because obviously he was trying to get away. He was trying to get the gun. This is what the text message is saying. He wasn't trying to get caught. You know what I mean? You know, you got situations where people do things and they want to get caught. You know, like Mario Lugione. I mean, that man with the McDonald's had a bite to eat. You feel me? He wasn't worried about it. He knew what he did and he wanted to go to jail for it. This is a situation where this guy tried to get away. So you're going to try to get away and then send all these incriminating ass text messages that detail the whole plan, motive, and everything. Man, hell no, man. I don't believe that. You can believe what you want to believe, but I don't believe that. I know this government is crooked and shady and push false narratives. They've been doing that shit for 50 years. You say it can't be freedom of speech if there are no consequences. Yeah, but that's not what they told us, man. They ain't tell us it was consequences for free speech. They showed us a few times. But they still pushing this narrative. We might as well just write that out the Constitution. There's no such thing as freedom of speech, yo. And we might as well revisit the Constitution and just, mark that out. Act like it never happened, yo, because you say the wrong thing, they gonna come after you, man. And who they is, I don't know. But I know it is a they. You feel me? They do exist, and they apply real pressure. And you can't just say what you want without consequences. Now, that Jimmy Kimmel situation, I don't even think he even did too much. I think this is just a situation where they just got tired of his motherfucking ass. But, yo, this is not the same Donald Trump that we seen on the last presidency. And I'm going to get more than that this weekend. Because I think a lot of people are still on the ledge and confused as to what's actually going on and who's actually at the head of this country. Man, it was built on a lie. It was built on a lie, man. Whole country was built on a lie. It just amazes me how, after all this time, people were still struggling with that fact or refusing to admit the obvious. You know what I mean? This shit was built on a lie, man. Oh my gosh. Mr. 420. Get your bitch ass out of here. But this shit crazy, man. Appreciate it. It's crazy. I can't believe they fired that man for that shit. I don't think he lied. I don't think there's really enough proof to automatically say that, yeah, this was he was with a leftist group, and ain't really no proof to that, unless you believe the messages. But the messages sound fugazi, and we should have a right to question government. Government is dirty. It always been dirty. You gotta question everything they do. I mean, that's why they say believe some of what you see and none of what you hear. Believe some of what you see and none of what you hear, man. You don't know what's real, what's fake. These people are very good. I don't think he said nothing wrong. I think Donald Trump said something wrong. I think it was real insensitive at the 2 days of this man being murdered, and after you did a whole speech and flew the flag at half staff to to show support for this guy. To then, when the question come up 2 days later, you just move past it and start talking about the ballroom being built. That's a little strange to me. And I think everybody has a right to question that. But it don't go without consequence. And that's the main reason that I'm doing this video, because I want people to understand, like, there's no freedom of speech. It hasn't been for a freedom of speech for a long ass time. For a long ass time. Yeah, but I want to. It's 11:20. I gotta really go to work. I want to talk about Dame Dash too, yo, because I don't like the fact that people allowing Revolt to lie about this Dame Dash situation. Like I said, I support Dame Dash. I think that Dame Dash is needed. Listen to this. Let me show y'all something.
Can you tell me why you keep calling me?
Let me show y'all something.
I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and.
It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
Yeah,
so why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
What I'm saying, that's hypocritical though.
It's opportunistic. Yeah, I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Yo, why didn't they press him like they pressed Dame Dash? Yo, this is why I don't respect these guys or this platform in general. You know what I mean? Why they should have pressed it? If there's anybody to press when you got him in front of your face, it'll be this guy. With all the bullshit that hell yes, Leo. With all the bullshit that he been a part of and all, he probably was the one that designed the meeting when hip hop changed directions. This fuck around was his idea. Who knows?
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. So you bring his name up. I don't even know him. So
y'all made a lot of money together. Made a lot of money. Come on, Leo. Don't do that to him.
I don't know him. I really don't. So,
He's scared of that man.
I don't know what to tell you.
I really didn't like the way Leo used to be fronting. It would make me mad because he's like a little dude. He's like a big fish in a little pond, but like in big business, he's not respected because he can't make money outside the culture. So why come fronting on us? I used to hate that shit because I used to know what he was doing. It's like, if a dude hustles and you know if somebody's getting money or not, and they're on the block acting like they getting it, they copping ounces, but they acting like they copping keys, we always copping ounces. He never used his own money. He was never anybody's boss. He ain't never ever one time put up his own money for anything. So how come he was giving so much power within my culture? Why was he giving so much money, making money off my culture? So that would be my issue with the whole corporate thing. Number one, they make you thank somebody from another culture like you need them, like you gotta have them involved. Like I need you to tell me how to sell music to my people. We never needed those dudes, ever. They made money off us. They made money off tricking us into believing we need them. And I always knew we didn't need them. That's why I never respected them, and I always carried them the same way. Just like the Backstage tour, the Hard Knock Life tour. We had put that together ourselves. That's why I was so aggravated when they tried to take the credit for it. I did that myself. I'm not saying that I didn't have a team, but Def Jam didn't have nothing to do with it. They just showed up.
Come on, man. How you don't respect the man that talk like that, man? So now you got this thing going on with Revolt, where Revolt put out a statement talking about Dame Dash line, and people is repeating it. But Dame Dash released text messages showing that he had conversations with this guy, and this is the conversation. Yeah, they don't like that. living in two different places, definitely need exclusivity. We can align on clips and things for American New, so there's nothing but it can only what the fuck live in one place. American New, so there's nothing but it can only live in one place, whatever. In a board meeting, so I guess that was another test. Not my YouTube channel, my network. Also, is there a pathway to own? But I'm cool with it if it's just for bosses taking losses to start. He said yes. It is a pathway to own. And I'm with these folks, and he blanked it out. The man said, yeah, it was a pathway to own. So why is people going around saying Dame Dash lying, man? I didn't like how Breakfast Club handled this situation. Like I said, Breakfast Club had a lot of people on that platform who they could have really pressed, like Umar Johnson, Leo Cohen. A lot of people, you know what I mean? It just looked like to me, yo, it's an attempt. They don't like the fact that Dame Dash is still around. You know, they've been trying to ruin Dame Dash since, you know, he was speaking out against Leo Cohen in the hip hop industry and how they manipulate people and how they control narrative, push agendas. But it's crazy how black people, with all the information that we got currently today, is still allowing them to do the same thing, and we don't question it. Or we side with the motherfucking establishment. Like, yo, to me, that's stupidity. I think that's one of the biggest problems in the community, is that we don't have our own mind, and we quick to side. I don't even want to call them authority, but we quick to side with the wrong side. Way too quick. Everybody, yo, we think everything funny, yo. Ain't nothing funny about what they trying to do to Dame Dash. There's nothing funny, yo. So the people are stronger than the establishment. The problem is that, you know, like I said, they do a good job of keeping the people separated. You know, putting the people on an island, playing both sides. Charleston White just spoke about how he played both sides, and that's what I told y'all he did. Listen, and people like, yo, this is the realest I ever heard Charleston White talk. Yo, and when it come down to Charlie Kirk and the disrespect that you saying, cause like I said, regardless if I don't agree with probably nothing he ever said, but I don't think he deserved to be murdered for it. But now you got Charleston White police ass talking about fuck him and fuck. He wasn't saying that when it first happened. This saying to me, he got the green light. See, John Jones, you a dummy. This is bigger than Dame, dumbass. See, you know what I'm saying? People don't got their own mind. Yo, this situation with Dame Dash is bigger than Dame. It's about controlling the narrative. It's about trying to ruin a man. They've been trying to ruin this man for years. They'd do that shit to you, John, your bitch ass. See, that's the problem, yo. People don't care until it affects them personally. Let your bitch ass, John, let your bitch ass say the wrong thing. I bet your dumb ass be fired and can't get another job again, bitch. Stupid ass nigga. Man, hit the Cash App then. Fuck you talking about? That's how that shit be, yo. Ain't nobody care when Malcolm X got murdered, but people care about Charlie Kirk. Ain't nobody care when the Black Panthers was taken down unjustly, but people care about Charlie Kirk. Care when it happens to anybody. That's what you're supposed to do. Care when it happens to anybody. That way, it lessens the chance that it happens to you. Fuck boy. Do that make sense to you, John? Or you stupid? Or you just want to disagree to disagree? You want to be ignorant? Does that make sense to people? Does that make sense to people? Yeah, I've been talking like this since I've been on the internet. I've been shadow banned. I done had pages taken. And I still talk like this. I ain't scared to, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say what the fuck need to be said 100% of the time. 100% of the time. I ain't got no political backing. Ain't no sponsorships. You know what I mean? That's how these people get controlled. They get controlled by sponsorships. That's why you gotta watch them niggas when they start getting sponsored. Watch people. When you know they got a lot of political backing and they sponsor, they're not spitting their own words. They only saying what they're allowed to say. And just like Charlie Kirk, you see when you start saying what you really feel, you are now an enemy. That fast. You could have been an ally for 20 years. The minute you speak something opposite of what we tell you to speak, you're an enemy. It's like night and day. But I was going into Charleston White goofy ass and how people just allow this person to flip-flop. There's no flip-flopping. Can't play both sides. People that play both sides are a danger. Are a danger. Yo, you can't go too far left or too far right, you know? 'Cause that's dangerous too. And what I mean by that is, you should never believe everything the Republican Party says. You should never believe or support anything the Democratic Party says. Everything, not everything. I don't believe everything nobody says. You know what I mean? Like I told y'all shit, I don't believe my kids sometimes. The Lord dudes be lying. You feel me? Like, I'd be damned if I believe a motherfucking government with their history of lies, falsehoods, misinterpretation of the facts. You know what I mean? Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you though, Billy. I don't have no incentive. You know, lies are incentivized. You understand what I'm saying? Lies are incentivized. I have no incentive to get on this bitch and lie to you. None at all. Like I said, I don't have no sponsors or no political dollars backing me. I'm gonna say what I believe. I have never got on this internet and said anything opposite of what I believe. Ever. Your favorite YouTuber probably have, though. Your favorite motherfucking politician probably have, though. Wait till I do this video on Donald Trump being compromised. I'm really gonna piss some people off. Cause that's one of the things I said about him coming into this election. Like, yo, I don't know if this the same guy, yo, that was in office 4 years ago, man. And you know how they compromised his ass? By trying to kill him 3 times. By maliciously prosecuting his ass. Yo, once you threaten a person's life, yo, people start to change. Some people change, some people conform, some people get worse. I think Donald Trump conformed, but I'm gonna get more into that. I'm gonna get more than that this weekend when I'm off. When we're in front of the computer. It's not even just a Republican, it's both sides. What my man say in the comments, man? It's 2 wings on the same bird, yo. They in cahoots. This is a money game, man. You know, people trying to get rich. That's it, that's all. That's why Congress said, yo, Congress shouldn't even be a lifetime job, yo. You should not be, that shit should be turned. Let's get some fresh blood in there, man. Get the motherfuckers in their 70s and 80s up out of there, man. Fuck you 80-something years old, 70-something years old, and you still speaking. Sit your old ass down, retire. I thought retirement age was 67. How the fuck is these people in Congress able to work till they 95? They could be, Joe Biden was 150 years old and was the president. The man was 150, man. Shouldn't be able to be 150 and be president of the United States. You shouldn't be able to be 150 and be a president of any motherfucking thing, to be honest. Need to get some fresh blood in there, man. They got a better pulse of America and the people. You know, what needs to be done. But it's not about fixing anything, y'all. It's about getting money. It's about getting money, man. Hey, if I do, it's a blessing. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with getting old. It's a blessing to get old. I'm saying that once you get a certain age, you shouldn't still be in Congress making laws and shit. You ain't even outside. You gotta be outside, yo. You gotta be amongst the people. You ain't 70 years old and amongst the people. You in a motherfucking house somewhere. Senior citizen home. Them ain't taking meds and shit. You shouldn't be able to have no say on the direction of this country when you ain't even gonna be here in the next 15 years. 5 years, maybe. That don't make sense to people? Exactly, Alexis. That's all I'm saying. You ain't even gonna be here. The fuck you speaking or fuck you change your laws and you ain't, that's not gonna affect you. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Let's get some young blood in there, man. Make these positions term. Donald Trump was talking that first. What happened? You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying. Yo, his whole message just switched in 8 years. Switched completely. I remember Donald Trump was talking about Congress need terms. Has he said that since? You would have thought that, you know, since he's the president again, he can implement some of these things. That man compromised, man. So all people that still following him, you ain't following the same person that you was following the last 4 years. This person is fully controlled. Fully controlled. Who say somebody depending on the government? And you don't even know what the fucking government is doing, man. You probably depend on the government too, don't even know it. Don't even know it. These people is very good at that shit. The illusion of inclusion. You know what I mean? The wolf in sheep clothing. People are very good, man, at disguising their true agenda and what they really trying to do. Like throwing a rock and hiding your hand. But I want to talk about Charleston White too. Because now, when he first got asked about Charlie Kirk, he was very respectful. And you know he's very close to Aiden. It's like him and Aiden might have had a conversation. And his whole stance switched. He went from being compassionate to extremely disrespectful. That's how you know he part of the system, man. These people be operatives. You know what I mean? Because we see what happens when you speak a certain kind of way, yo. You can't do that. And that's why I keep telling y'all, question them people, man. For the people that's saying anything online, you gotta question them, man. Who you really working for? Why are you doing this? How are you getting away with this? Where in America, it's a history of people not getting away with this. How are you getting away with it so long? Why haven't they shut you down yet? Maybe because they stand in line. Man, sweet to Jamaica. But listen to this. Listen to this rhetoric. And it's the comments, like I always say, it's always the comments that piss me off. Because people listen to the rhetoric and then come back with, yo, that was some real ass shit. That man ain't say nothing real. I ain't never heard Charles White say nothing real in my life. Too much of a hypocrite. You can't be a hypocrite and say something real. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. But real people don't say it's not hypocritical. Their stances are lying. But listen to this fuckboy.
You know who love me? The young people. Because of Aiden Ross. What up? Oh yeah, yo, it's your boy Kato Media, and yes, I'm back. And it's true, man, when it comes to us, whether that be police brutality or police killings, man, it seems like we're made fun of until the joke is no longer on us. He pretty much discussed how...
Now, this nigga, it'd be crazy how they be giving you credit, right? For shit he don't deserve credit for. Yo, for days, I've been explaining to people the hypocrisy and what's going on right now. For days. Alright? For days I've been explaining this shit. People watched it. But nobody shares it. And that's how I be knowing, like, who are these people? Because if it's just about a real message, it shouldn't matter who say it. If you're gonna get behind it or not. But what happens on this internet is these people got picked. So I say some shit, some real ass shit that need to be heard. It don't end up on none of these. Most of them know me. Most of them know me. You have somebody like a Charleston White say it, or say something similar, and it get plastered everywhere, and people congratulate them, and like it's just wild, yo. The world that we live in, yo, it's not real. But listen to him.
Seems like we're made fun of.
And then with a guy like him, he just talking. You feel me? He don't even believe it. Because if he believes the things that he said, his stance would line up. His stance would line up. He too over the place. He too all over the place to believe the shit that he said. He just be talking, man. I would much rather share a opinion or a stance of a person that's consistent over a hypocrite. Because I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. Alright, but let's get to what the fuck boy said.
Until the joke is no longer on. Play it well, man.
Get it to kids, son. Y'all applauded me when I...
So you know when your boy's dropping. Let's get into the detail.
Y'all applauded me when I disrespected. Get it to kids, son. Y'all applauded me when I disrespected. All y'all applauded that. Loved and came to the shows. Even the comedy club owners. Oh, we love him back while I make mockery of George Floyd. And he said, f*** his baby. He said, f*** Woody, baby. Oh, y'all laugh. That's why nobody really like white people. Nobody really like y'all. There's nowhere y'all can go in the world where people don't frown up at y'all. Ethnocentric. Learn the word. You ain't got no friends. The black boy have been your only friend in the last 50 years. The worst of the world want to destroy you. Everybody is coming up against white people, and you know it. We've been your only friend in the last 50, 60 years. Genuinely been your friend. And you still miss us.
Now it's us again. See, this is why I respect, yo. I don't give a fuck what he says, yo. He's too hypocritical to get any respect. Now it's us. Then it's we. Then it's y'all. Then it's us again. Then it's y'all. Like, yo, it's either you with us or against us, or you in the way, man. I don't know how y'all carry shit, but that's how I carry it in real life. Yeah, you can't do that, man. You can't do that and deserve respect. You feel me? He just is on say cheese talking about y'all, black people. When he talk about black people, he don't say us. He don't say us. He say y'all. But now it's we.
Still mistreat us. Y'all time almost up. Russia don't like you. North Korea don't like you. Africa joining with China. China ruling you. You're bound to China. Israel punking you, treating you like Russia making you suck his. But you playing tough with us and you're losing your country. This ain't your problem. Black America ain't your mother problem. China you. You think I don't know how to play on white folk? Didn't I play on y'all to get here? Didn't y'all love me for now? Y'all think half I was saying, I really believe.
Listen to him. People respect that shit, yo. That man said I played on y'all to get here. I told y'all Charleston White playing both sides, man. Charleston White plays both sides, yo. You can't trust nobody that plays both sides. Historically. You know, that's what COINTELPRO was. You know what I mean? That's how the Black Panthers and Malcolm X and all these groups got infiltrated by people playing both sides. But now you got this guy that admitted, I played both sides. And people like, yo, this the realest shit I ever heard. Like, yo, get the fuck out of here. We dumb as a motherfucker as people. Yo, we are some ignorant, stupid people. Like, for real. And that's the only way I can say it. Because if you can't look at that and see flaw, then you fucking blind. You gotta be blind.
I really believe I've been playing on y'all. I'm an ignorant when it comes to white people. As all my white friends. Smooth.
But he go to a conservative platform and say, Carmelo Anthony need life in prison. Like, what people be forgetting what people say? That man went to a conservative white platform and said Carmelo Anthony needs life in fucking prison.
I'm telling y'all, that's why I love Trump. Me and Trump is one of the same, because we can play on both sides of the field. Trump played Democrat, then came over here and played dumb Republican. So you got to be clever to play Democrat. You ain't got to be too smart to play Republican. You just got to remember history and know which side to play for. Dumb. So yeah, that's Republican, Democrat, dumb, and them. You got to know how to play both sides. If you're stuck on one side, you're stupid. That's what makes Trump so clever. He knows how to play on both sides. That's why I salute the commander-in-chief. That's where I got my game from. I read his book. White boy can't beat me, and I done read Donald Trump's book, but I know how to play on both sides. I know how to play on the liberal and the conservative and the independent too, nigga, because I know history.
Yo, this man dangerous, y'all. If y'all don't think that's a dangerous statement, I don't know what the fuck to tell y'all. Nothing. He ain't gonna speak. Like, what the fuck? That man ain't gonna speak, man. Yo, people don't, yo. I don't even want to go down that route. I'm just saying, yo. That man's still here for a reason, man. Yeah, man, you can take that how you want to take it. Everybody else dead. Everybody else's lives done been in jeopardy. He was around back then, but somehow, some way, he's still alive. No more attempts on his life. You think that's normal? What you think happened? How do you think that happened? They killed Malcolm X, Black Panthers, Martin Luther King. We got Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and the guy you just mentioned. Ain't nobody else alive. Muhammad Ali caught a wild ass disease where he couldn't even speak no more. Jim Brown, his take changed tremendously when he got in his 70s. You know, he was against Colin Kaepernick kneeling. Well, he was vocal as a bitch back in the day. They compromise you, man. It's, you know, to come after your money, come after your image, come after your life. You know, change your perspective on things. At least publicly. But Charles White is a bozo. There's no such thing as free speech. It's not real. Ain't never been real. It's amazing that people just realizing that. And it ain't Democratic, Republican, it's both sides. You know, the first election, Trump was pushing this ideology or this idea that it was the Democrats. But the Democrats ain't pulled Jimmy Kimmel off the air. But we're going to dive more deeper into this when I got some more time, probably this weekend, because I want to go through this apology letter that they saying that Jimmy Kimmel need to apologize And he need to donate to Charlie Kirk's family. And he need to donate to, what's the name of his organization? Turning Point? Yeah, he need to donate to all that. Sounds similar to what they did to Kyrie Irving. Wonder who's at the helm. Just a few questions. Yo, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share the live. It's another day keeping you new in the